Welcome to Mobile Car Mechanic. Today we're going to show you how to change the upstream oxygen sensor on this 2000 Honda Civic EX. It's going to apply from 96 to 2000. The placement of the upstream sensor, oxygen sensor, is different on the EX than it is on the like the other models. So the process may be similar, but it'll differ just a little bit. Our parts and tools needed are going to be a socket wrench, an oxygen sensor removal tool, and then of course the sensor itself. Alright, so we're going to use an oxygen socket sensor here to go ahead and remove this, but before we do, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and unplug the sensor. There is a little like bracket over here that holds the wire in place. So the bracket is right here. All you have to do is just kind of lift. So I'll put it back in place because I think it's already kind of like messed up. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead, before we unbolt the oxygen sensor out, which we're going to use a special tool to do so, we need to go ahead and start unplugging things. So we're going to go ahead and pop this grommet out of this little bracket. Mine is kind of like ghetto here because I guess they put electrical tape or something on there. Normally you have like a rubber deal in here that sits right into that. And on that top of that, we do also have a connector. So what we have to do here is, if the sensor, let me get the sensor wire out of the way here. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the connector here by pinching the tab. And that should release the cable itself from the connector. And I will go ahead and start unscrewing that. All right, so this is our special socket here. We're gonna go ahead and put it on there. There's a cutout for the wire. So just go ahead and get that there. Once it's locked in place, we are going to put our socket wrench on here. You may need some leverage depending on how tight this is going to be. So we're gonna go ahead and try to break it loose, lefty-loosey. Okay, and we'll just swing it back around because it's still got a little bit of resistance on it. Okay, I think we should be able to go ahead and undo it by hand, potentially. That is a lie. I should be able to just go ahead and do this by hand using the sensor tool. And the reason why we unplug the connectors first is because the wires are going to kind of bind up, and then it's going to basically act as like a little wind-up spring and basically make it harder for you to go ahead and pull this out. All right. Fantastic. So now we have the sensor out. Go ahead and get the replacement in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull out our replacement sensor here. Should be very similar. Fantastic. All right, so here's our sensor. We don't have the little rubber grommet on this one. And it looks like we have some pre-applied anti-seize on there. So thank you, Denso. So now we're going to go ahead and screw this in by hand until we need to go ahead and use the tool to tighten it down. And remember, we're doing this before we plug in the connector because we don't want the wires to get all twisted up, kind of like how they are now. So I'm going to go ahead and release that tension on it and turn it around. And I'm going to go ahead and use my socket wrench here to go ahead and tighten that down. So I got to crank down a bit. The heat and cold cycles are definitely going to make it tighter over time. So now that we have this tightened up, let's go ahead and route it. So let's go ahead and get you in close here. So we have our wire here. I'm going to go ahead and try to put it as best as I can into this little thing here on that little hook, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in the connector here. So it looks like it doesn't want to go in just yet. I'm going to go ahead and twist it a little bit because I don't want this wire rubbing on the axle. You might have to pinch the connector in to get it in there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and just cut it out here, and then we'll go ahead and try to get it done off camera. Okay, so ultimately we ended up getting it clicked in place. I got the wire routed onto that little bracket. The sensor is now put into the portion of the exhaust manifold here. This is the Upstream, so it's before the other oxygen sensor, which is on the other side. That's in the basically in the CAT itself. So that's it, we're done. All right, thank you for watching Mobile Car Mechanics. Today we just showed you how to change the Upstream oxygen sensor on this 2000 Honda Civic EX. It's going to apply from 96 to 2000. Again, the placement of the Upstream sensor for the oxygen sensor on the EX is a little bit different from the other models like the DX, the LX, and all that stuff. The process will be somewhat similar. Just take that with a grain of salt. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.